As of today, I'm starting a series where I go through each one of my documents, with each one of my sources that I use for learning English. Now, obviously, when it comes to learning English, I only learn English by using scripts. This is the only method that I applied to my English learning journey. Scripts are the only way of learning English for me. And throughout my English learning journey, there had been so many different sources that I use for learning English. Such as, I learned English with the sitcoms. I learned English with the scripts of TV shows. Other than learning English with the scripts of TV shows, I also learned English with the scripts of classic YouTube videos. And also I learned English with the scripts of vloggers. I also learned English with the scripts of talk shows. And lastly, I also practice and learn English with the scripts of podcasts. Now, as you can see, there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Throughout my English learning journey, there has been 7 different sources that I implemented to my English learning journey.
Ooh, you got the bigger half. What'd you wish for?
The bigger half.
Oh, you got the bigger half. What did you wish for? The bigger half.
Oh, Jim Matthews, his right honorable vice president, former governor of Pennsylvania. He did his duty in delivering Keystone State, bless his heart, and now they're about to put him out to pasture.
Jim Matthews, his right honorable vice president, former governor of Pennsylvania. He did his duty in delivering the Keystone State, bless his heart. Now they're about to put him out to pasture.
Everybody's parents fucked them up. Rich kids' parents gave them too much, poor kids not enough. Too much attention, not enough attention.
Everybody's parents fucked them up. Rich kids' parents gave them too much, poor kids not enough, poor kids' parents not enough. Too much attention, not enough attention. Too much attention, not enough attention.
Favorite shows of all time are probably New Girl and Peaky Blinders.
My favorite shows of all time are probably New Girls and Peaky Blinders.
On my way to the gym, you might notice how fresh I look this morning. Candace's mother slept over last night and took care of the baby. I wish that happened every night.
On my way to the gym, you might notice how fresh I look this morning. Candace's mother stayed over last night and took care of the baby. I wish it happened every night.
He goes like this and he goes, babe, I'm just dominating the evacuation. Look at it. I got the pigs in the back. They're in the crate.
He goes like this and he goes, babe, I'm just dominating the evacuation. Babe, I'm just dominating the evacuation. Look at it. I got the pigs in the back. They're in the crate.
You're like, okay, I'm in my first relationship. What is this supposed to look like?
When you're older, you're like, okay, I'm in my first relationship and what is that supposed to look like? As of today, what I would like to do, we're gonna take a look at every step of my English learning process. I'm gonna rate those sources that I use for learning English based on their importance level, so that you can truly understand at which level which sources you should use for your English learning journey. I'm gonna rate those sources based on those categories. Speaking English fluently. I'm gonna explain to you guys which source you should use for speaking English fluently, improve your speaking skill in a very fast way, or learning new words effectively. I'm going to explain to you guys, these are the sources, for instance, you should use for learning words effectively. Beginner, intermediate level. If you're a beginner or if you're an intermediate or if you're in between those levels, these are the sources you should use for learning English. In today's video, I'm going to talk about learning English with TV shows and the importance of learning English with sitcoms, how learning English with sitcoms will help you to improve your speaking skill and all that stuff, okay? At the beginning of my English learning journey, as you all know, I started learning English with friends. So, in my opinion, as a beginner, you should start to learn English with sitcoms if you're a beginner level. Starting your English learning journey with a sitcom will help you to speak English fluently 100%. So I would rate this 10 out of 10. And will help you to learn new words effectively, and I will give this again 10 out of 10 for in terms of learning words effectively. And if you're a beginner or intermediate level, if you're in between those levels, again I would say 10 out of 10 learn English with sitcoms. If you're an intermediate level or proficiency, if you're in between those levels, Learning English with sitcoms might be waste of time for you. I don't find it very efficient to learn English with sitcoms if you are in between those levels, like intermediate or proficiency. Let me explain to you guys with examples why it is so important to learn English with sitcoms such as Friends or How I Met Your Mother in the beginning of your English learning journey.
I cleaned! I did the windows, I did the floors.
Look, I cleaned. I did the windows, I did the floors. Look, I cleaned. I did the windows, I did the floors. Look, I cleaned. I did the windows, I did the floors.
I had a really great time last night.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We'll talk later.
Yeah.
I had a really great time last night. For instance, that scene directly reminds me another scene from How I Met Your Mother, where Robin said,
"There you are. We got a jumper. Some crazy guy on the Manhattan Bridge. Come on, you're covering it."
There you are. We got a jumper. Some crazy guy on the Manhattan Bridge. Come on, you're covering it.
All right, I'll be right there. I'm sorry. I had a really great time tonight.
Alright, I'll be right there. Alright, I'll be right there. I'm sorry. I had a really great time tonight. I'm sorry. I had a really great time tonight.
Isn't this amazing? I mean, I have never made coffee before in my entire life.
That is amazing.
Isn't this amazing? Isn't this amazing? I mean, I never made coffee before in my life. That is amazing. That is amazing. Congratulations.
Congratulations. While you're on a roll, if you feel like you gotta make like a Western omelet or something.
While you're on a roll, if you feel like you gotta make a Western omelet or something.
Although actually, I'm really not that hungry this morning.
Although, actually, I'm really not that hungry this morning. Based on this example, the first important thing is high relatability. Very high relatability. In your daily life, you will be using those words. You will have to use those words. Like, I cleaned, I did the windows, I did the floors, I made a cup of coffee. You know, I never made a coffee in my life. Would anybody like coffee? Or maybe you're going out with your girlfriends or boyfriends, and you might say that I had a great time tonight. I had a great time last night, right? So this is 100% relatable and applicable to your life, right? It's very useful. So it's very efficient. It has a very high relatability. The other thing is really high association. Now, the reason why learning English with sitcoms is very important for you to not only learn the words, but for you to be able to learn words when it comes to speaking is because you will start to make associations between words and stories. What I mean by that is, for instance, as you repeat those lines, like I do in this scene, you will basically be playing the scene in your head again and again, over and over again. So that will help you to connect words with stories.
Reality for a second. Okay. When are you coming home?
What? Guys, I'm not.
Come on. This is us.
Let's talk reality for a second. Okay, let's talk reality for a second. Okay, when are you coming home? What? Guys, I'm not. Hey, come on, this is us. I'm not.
Not. This is what I'm doing now. I've got this job, waitressing.
This is what I'm doing now. I got this job, and this is what I'm doing now. I got this job. And waitressing?
Waitressing? Okay, I'm not just waitressing. I write the specials on the specials board, and
I'm not just waitressing. I'm not just waitressing, you know. I write the specials on the specials board.
I take the dead flowers out of the vase.
I take the dead flowers out of the vase. I take the dead flowers out of the vase. I take the dead flowers out of the vase. Simple word reminds me of a story, the whole story. Once you remember the story, you also start to remember other lines, other situations that is going on, other events that is happening, that is going on in the episodes. You start to build this endless network. One word reminds you a story, one story reminds you new lines remind you new words remind you, new stories from different episodes. So basically, over time, you build your vocabulary by speaking the language, by using the language. And that is like one of the most important thing when it comes to speaking English fluently, speaking a language fluently. Another very important advantage of practicing with the scripts is you live the story vicariously through the characters. You laugh with the characters, you cry with the characters, you feel with the characters, you feel the emotion.
Oh, this artichoke thing. Oh, don't tell me what's in it. The diet starts tomorrow.
You remember Janice?
Vividly.
I love this artichoke thing. Don't tell me what's in it. The diet starts tomorrow. I love this artichoke thing. Don't tell me what's in it. The diet starts tomorrow. You remember Janice? Vividly. You can see that I experience the scene. I feel the scene. For those of you who are fan of Friends, you can obviously laugh at Janice and Chandler's scenes many times. So in my English learning process, while you're practicing with the scripts, there's also emotion involved. When the character says funny lines or funny words, or when funny things happen in the scene, throughout the scene, you laugh, you enjoy the scene. But when something bad happens or sad happens, you feel sad. Learning the language with emotions also is a huge help for you to learn the language, because as I told you time and time again, language comes with emotions. You know, we don't speak in a robotic way. The other advantage of practicing with sitcoms or TV shows in general is those lines are very structured, very formal. What I mean by it is, for instance, when you watch a YouTuber, when you practice with a YouTuber or vlogger, their lines will not be 100% structured. You might see them most of the time, they might start a sentence, and in the middle of the sentence they can change the topic, they can directly shift to another topic, or they might stop in the middle of the sentence and they might start another sentence. They may not follow the grammar rules very accurately, strictly 100%. So this is why at the beginning of your English learning journey, learning English with sitcoms and TV shows will help you to get more and more familiar with the English structures. It will be easier and efficient. But learning English with vloggers and YouTube videos as a beginner is very hard, is very challenging. So sometimes I get comments like this method is great, but it is for an advanced level. No, learn English with sitcoms for those of you who are beginner level. Learn English with vloggers and YouTube videos is more complicated. So me as a beginner would fail to learn English with vloggers and YouTube videos. The vloggers, their sentences are not structured because they're not using scripts in their videos. So this is why learning English with the TV shows scripts is very efficient. Is very good way of learning language because those lines are scripted, right? So at the end of the day, those lines are very carefully written.
It says to call this number if you're not completely satisfied with this candy bar. Well, I'm not completely satisfied.
It says to call this number if you're not completely satisfied with this candy bar. Well, I'm not completely satisfied. Well, I'm not completely satisfied.
Well, I'm not completely satisfied.
Listen, it's kind of an emergency. Well, I guess you'd know that or we'd be in the predicament room.
Listen, it's kind of an emergency, and I guess you'd know that, or we'd be in the predicament room. Listen, it's kind of emergency. I guess you'd know that, or we'd be in the predicament room. So.
Hold on. Fill these out. Sit over there.
Hold on. Fill this out. Sit over there. When you watch a TV show, you're not able to simply put yourself in the situation. But when you get your scripts and practice with the scripts, you're able to put yourself in the situation. While I'm going through those lines from this scene, you teach your brain, like, if I ever go to hospital or if I ever find myself in a situation where someone gives me a form, then I might say, how do I fill this out? How do I fill this out? Or do I need to fill this out? Or you need to fill this out. You need to fill this form out. You teach your brain those expressions and those words while putting yourself in those situations. Now I'm going to stop this video right here. This was the first part of my long series. I will create a long series where I go through every single one of my documents and sources that I use for learning English step by step. I believe that making those videos will be very insightful for you to fully and totally comprehend my whole English learning process very properly, so that when it comes to creating your own study plan, or when it comes to learning English by yourself, you don't choose the wrong path, or you don't apply the wrong method to your life. Learning English with sitcoms on its own will not make you speak English fluently. Learn English with TV shows from different genres will not make you speak English fluently on its own. Or learn English with vloggers or YouTubers will not make you speak English again on its own. But once you're able to combine all those sources all together, yeah, it will make a huge difference. If you're a beginner, if you're somewhere in between beginner or intermediate level, start with a sitcom. In the next part of this series, in the next episode of this series, we'll talk about how to go from beginner level to kind of like advanced level, how to keep improving your vocabulary and your speaking skill. We'll talk about learning English with different TV shows from different genres.